For more on this, let's bring in Americans for Tax Reform President Grover Norquist. Grover Norquist, Joe Biden tweeted this, of course he didn't write it, that Trump tax cut is going to expire. If I'm reelected, it's going to stay expired. And he has always said it's benefited the wealthy and biggest corporations. And that is just pig potatoes. 2/3 of American households, thereabouts, got a tax cut, and the biggest beneficiaries were middle-class Americans, full stop.
Look, Trump's tax cut, the Republican tax cut, reduced marginal tax rates for everybody who pays income taxes. Everyone who pays income taxes saw their tax rates go down. You got the child tax credit. And what Biden said all during the campaign when he ran was he was going to get rid of all of the Trump tax cuts. And that includes taking our corporate income tax, which used to be higher than China. And thanks to Trump and the Republicans, it went down to below China's. He wants to take it either all the way to 35%, which is what he said during the campaign, he's going to abolish the tax cut, or up to 28%, higher than China's, higher than the European average. He wants your company that you work for to be punished more than the communist Chinese tax their own businesses, so we won't be competitive. Biden wants you to have to compete on lower wages against China, not lower taxes.
Yeah, let's dig into that a little bit, because when he talks about the corporations, what he's trying to say is, middle-class America, I'm not going after you, I'm going after the big rich companies. And of course, what that means, Grover, is that when you go after the company, you're actually going after middle-class Americans, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a worker, or whether you're somebody who wants to retire. Isn't that right?
Look, absolutely. And here's the good news for Trump and the Republicans and the American economy. We did focus groups at Americans for Tax Reform. Do people understand who pays the corporate income tax? And the answer is Americans, average Americans, know that when you tax a grocery store, the prices of the things at the grocery store goes up. The wages of the people who work at the grocery store can't go up because the government took that money. And if you have a 401k or an IRA, if you own shares of stock and Biden's taxes are so bad that stock prices fall, your life savings decline. So he hits people who are saving for the future, people who are consumers during the day, and people who work. Those are middle-class people. 70% or more of the corporate income tax directly hits consumers, people. There is no Mr. General Motors writing checks. They're only consumers and workers.
I am going to move on, but if you look at Biden's economic agenda, it has been hurt the many to enrich and bail out the few, period. Whether it's the vast amount of money, like hundreds of billions of dollars that have gone to his corporate cronies, to subsidies, the student loan bailouts when almost 90% of Americans don't have any student loan debt. And now this idea about I'm going to hike corporate taxes and I'm going to get rid of the Trump tax cuts. All of this only benefits the few, and it damages and destroys the livelihoods of so many. But I want to move on to this. The president's 2025 budget proposal plans to raise the capital gains tax rate to 44.6%. Big sigh from Grover. That's the highest rate since its creation in 1922. And according to the Treasury Department, that's because, quote, preferential tax rates also disproportionately benefit white taxpayers who receive the overwhelming majority of the benefits of the reduced rates.
So under Biden's proposed plan, the combined federal-state capital gains tax would exceed 50% in a whole bunch of states, with California reaching nearly 60%. Grover, that sounds to me like a terrible penalty on investment, which is a good thing, isn't it?
If you and your spouse buy a small business, start a small business, and work at it for 20, 30, 40 years, and then you sell that business, you get a capital gain, okay? And that's your life savings. That's your work. All those 40 years, you've been paying personal income taxes and sales taxes and the FICA taxes for your workers and property taxes and state income taxes. Tax, 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 tax. Now you're going to sell the business and earn some money. And Biden says, by the way, between the federal government and your state government, they're going to take half of your life work. And he thinks that's funny.
They think they know better. They think these lifelong bureaucrats and these lawmakers who've never worked a real job think they make better decisions about your life, with your money, about your health, every way, shape, and form than you do.
Yeah.
Real quick, Grover, a few seconds.
That is their view. That higher capital gains tax, China's at 20%. He wants America at 44.6%. Who's going to invest in America when Biden's stealing half of what you're making and China goes 20%?
Amen.
Exactly.
Grover Norquist, thank you so much, sir. Great to see you.